A lot of you having trouble doing the completing the square, not on the regular ones. I feel like most of you are pretty good on the regular ones. It's the ones that have a number in the front. And the method that we were using, it has a specific purpose when you're in Algebra 2, okay? So the method that we were doing is for, they'll call it to put something into vertex form so you can graph it easily. But there's a different way of solving, and so I feel like I'm going to show you the other way of solving. Okay, first step, which I feel like you guys have down pretty good, is that the two letters have to be on one side. The regular number needs to be on the other. It doesn't matter if it's left or right, but most people seem to prefer these on the left and then the numbers on the right. So we'll start with that. This part's no different between any of the questions. Okay? Now, the mistake that I keep seeing a lot of people making is that they treat this problem as if that 2 isn't there. They'll start taking half of the -8 and then going from that step. And completing the square only works if it's a regular x squared. Like the method we learned only works if it's a regular x squared. So what we're going to do, this is the alternative method, is to make that into a regular x squared. So if we've got a 2 on the x squared, we're purposely going to divide by 2 on everything. And if we cut everything in half, like that's totally allowed if you divide them all by 2. And then this problem is now what we consider one of the normal ones. And it's no longer kind of a difficult setup. So from here, we can take half of the -4. And so we would get -2. And then we'll square it, like this part's the exact same thing. So -2 squared is +4, +4. Like you don't have to worry about multiplying by anything in the front. It's just the normal method of completing the square. And then this turns into the parentheses squared. This is the number that goes right here. So -2 would go in the parentheses. The whole thing squared goes up to the line, but just the individual number goes down in parentheses. And then this would be 1. And then from here, same thing. I feel like a lot of you are pretty good at knowing that square root is the opposite of the squared. So those two cancel out. And then add 2 at the end. +1 plus 2 is 3. -1 plus 2 is 1. Now, we could, if we would have done the normal method that I showed you, kind of towards the beginning of the week, this still would have worked. Same answer. Is that going to be too small? No, that's okay. So if we would have factored the 2 out, it would have gone through the different part of the process where we would have had to divide by 2 at some point, and we still would have had 3 and 1 at the end. So if we're just trying to solve these problems, I feel like this might help you out a lot more. Just divide by whatever number's on the x squared on everything, and then it turns into a regular problem. You're going to get decimals a lot of times. That's okay, but you guys have the calculators to work with the decimals. I feel like this should probably help you out a lot. So today I was thinking that the problems we're going to work on, try this method. If this method doesn't make sense to you and the other method you like better, choose that one. If you like this method better, I mean, the goal is to pick whatever makes sense to your brain. So if this ends up making more sense, use this. The goal is to have our test next Wednesday. If we're not there, that's fine, we don't have to take it next Wednesday, we have plenty of time. This is the last normal test we're taking this year. Like, everything after this is sort of just like projects. So, I think the one we're doing after this unit is called like a mortgage project. And it's basically like showing you how you have to decide to spend money as an adult. And things like that, like how to choose what kind of house you can afford, stuff like that. So, I mean, everything past this is not gonna be regular math. This is the last thing we need to complete it for like all the standards for the year. So that's what I'm saying. If you guys need more time on this, we can certainly push it back further. That's not that big of an issue. So, I don't know. Do you guys want me to do like another problem like this? Yes? Okay, I can do that. Yeah, who's coming now? You were in bed? Oh. Okay. Grace, what's the first thing we have to do? Or what's the first thing we're supposed to look for? Is that a better way to phrase it? Oh, we can right away. So first thing we're supposed to look for are the letters grouped together and are the numbers on the other side. This one's set up for us to start right away. We certainly can just divide by 8 right away as well. So, okay, divide by 8 on everything. That way it'll turn into a regular x squared. So we've got x squared plus 2x equals 5.25. Yeah, 5.25. Okay, do you want to choose the next person? No, oh, I shouldn't have asked. I should have just told you to choose the next person. Mike, where do we go from here? Okay, by what? Oh, so, yeah, so, I mean, it's not wrong. I thought you were trying to say this step again or something. No, you're correct. We're gonna take this number and cut it in half, divide by 2. So 2 divided by 2, and then we're gonna square it to add it right there. So 1 squared will be 1. Okay. Want to pick the next person? Gracie? What info do I write in this parentheses? I'll scroll up if that helps. Okay, x. Definitely more than that, but yes, x is a good start. Perfect. So the number that's inside the parentheses is what goes right there. 6.25. Next person? Should I just go with Abby?
Sure.
Okay, Abby. I feel like he was gonna choose you anyway, so I'll just like. What should we do next? You don't know. But you're here the rest of the week. Oh. Bella, can you help her out? Yes, you can. So we're trying to figure out the x itself, so we're trying to like get rid of things by doing the opposites. How do we get rid of the plus 1? How do we get rid of the squared? We will, but we can't do it yet. So since the plus 1 is inside the parentheses, we can't work with it yet. So we have to get rid of that squared first, so that the parentheses are gone. How do we get rid of squared? Avery, can you build them up? Square roots, good. Alright, thanks. Okay, square root cancels off a square. I think this is 2.5? I don't know, somebody should probably check that one in to double check. I'm pretty sure it's 2.5. 4.5 and nobody has a calculator. Everybody just grabs their phone calculator. Is it? Oh, I'm good today. -1? 2.5 minus 1 is 1.5. Negative 2.5 minus 1 is negative 3.5. And then I'm definitely going to leave this up on the board. I want to leave this up on the board so that if you guys need a problem to look at to go from, this will be a good example. Jaden. There's only 2 types of completing the square problems. Why was this one considered a little more difficult? There's basically one thing you look at the beginning to determine how easy a problem will be. Kind of. So you're trying to describe to me whether you have to move things around? That's certainly true too. Bella, do you remember what the difference is between the easier and harder ones?
Here's the number.
Okay. If you have a number on the x squared, if there's no number there to start with, well then you can kind of skip that first step and just immediately go right to completing the square and adding a number. But if there is a number, try this method by dividing by it so that it'll become a 1. Okay.